Warren Buffett is one of the most successful and recognizable figures of our time. Known as one of the shrewdest and most business-minded investors, he has built his reputation on certain practices and tools, which he uses for the sole purpose of increasing his profits with as little risk of loss as possible. He long held the view that this was an almost impossible task and that it paid little long-term dividend, but his experience, and that of many others, has shown us that it is possible to achieve abundance without resorting to high-risk investments. Of course, not all people think that way, and in some cases, there are still a number of questions that most people have about the finances and investments made by the world's richest people. How do these people achieve the figures they now enjoy? What kind of businesses and investments would someone have to run to live and achieve the same results as them? Do they need to risk a dangerous amount of capital? Warren Buffett is a master on the subject, and that's why today we're going to look at some of the advice the Oracle of Omaha has in store for young people. And don't let the title fool you. Although they are aimed at a certain sector of the population, anyone can learn from these practices and can benefit from their correct execution. One thing to bear in mind when analyzing Warren Buffett's advice is that being an expert who knows certain topics to do with investing, he can be a little harsh and a little blunt with his comments. But can you blame him? The man has billions under his belt and has the ability to make more money. This is thanks to his business, passive income, and investments. As you know, Warren Buffett is one of the richest investors in the world. A billionaire, entrepreneur, and expert in the acquisition and management of assets and liabilities. The man is nicknamed the Oracle of Omaha due to his accurate stock market predictions and the moves he often makes to increase his dividends. As well as many people are satisfied with these themes, some young people are also taking their place because of the interviews and talks that have taken place over the last few years. For him, anyone can increase their fortune if they know how to implement certain tips and knowledge, as well as injecting a dose of commitment and hard work into the equation. Why? Because he is one of those cases that gradually increased his numbers. Although Warren's father was a stockbroker, he taught him from a young age the value of work, as well as various ways to leverage capital and multiply it. Of course, that knowledge increased when he studied economics in college, and now, after all the ups and downs he's gone through and the extra lessons he's learned, he has become the perfect teacher to help others increase their knowledge and capital without jeopardizing their wealth. With that brief overview of his career, we ask you, are you selected to follow his advice and accept his reasons for giving it? Because if you do, you might find more than a few comments that will improve your financial life. With those points clear, we ask you once again, do you want to know what you need to improve your money-making skills? Why, Warren gives us the answer in a video posted on LinkedIn a few days ago by Michael Hood. He's a co-founder of the startup VoiceFlow, which is based in Toronto, Canada, and shared some comments the entrepreneur gave a few days ago. The only easy way to become worth 50% more than you are now, at least, is to hone your communication skills, both written and verbal. This is how it is. In the words of Warren Buffett, you need to improve and strengthen your written and verbal communication skills, so that your knowledge and experience are worth 50% more than what they currently cost. This comment is not only surprising for its simplicity, but also because he is one of the first entrepreneurs to give due value to something as important as knowing how to communicate the message we want to project to others without mistakes or confusion. Quote, "If you can't communicate, it's like winking at a girl in the dark. It's okay. You can have all the brainpower in the world, but you have to be able to convey it," said Buffett. And that comment is perfectly accurate. Dialogue between collaborators is extremely important if you want to get any work done. By the same token, if you don't have the ability to express well what you want to achieve with an action, you will only cause other people to be confused by your requests. This type of problem has not only caused major problems among workers, but has also caused millions of dollars in losses for small and even large companies. That is why it is so important to establish a stable and understandable communication channel between our colleagues and workers in other areas. Because we don't know when we will need your help to carry out a personal project or work for the company. Quote, transmission is communication, said Buffett, and boy does he know what he's talking about. It is not for nothing that he has a net worth of more than $86 billion, according to Forbes magazine. It should also be noted that there are other businessmen who agree with the investor's words and support his comments. Such is the case of the entrepreneur Richard Branson, who shares the vision Buffett has established in terms of his capacity for efficiency and his usefulness in achieving success. Quote, today, if you want to succeed as an entrepreneur, you also have to be a storyteller, said the British entrepreneur. There are already 2 entrepreneurs who believe that communication is one of the most important tools to achieve financial success. Well, on with Warren and the topic of effective communication. Quote, it's no use being a good storyteller if your product or idea is rubbish. But it's not enough to create a great product. You have to manage so that people know about it too. This phrase appeared at the Canadian Walk of Fame induction gala this Saturday, and since its appearance, many people have decided to heed the advice given that day by Buffett and Hood. Both men were scheduled to appear at the event to share some of their experience in the business world, as well as some of the points that are important when it comes to increasing our dividends. Of course, the 2 men's presentations gave many young people the opportunity to broaden the knowledge they already have on topics such as investments, finance, management, and entrepreneurship. However, no one doubts that the comments we made at the beginning of this block was one of the most powerful you could get. It's no use having the best product in the world if you're not able to sell it. Similarly, there's no point in promoting a good story if you don't have something of quality to sell. These 2 factors are very valuable when building a business, and for this reason, most people who heard the phrase kept it with them. Even someone with a little more experience, like Michael Hood, enjoyed Buffett's presentation. Quote, it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a young entrepreneur, the 22-year-old entrepreneur told CNBC Make It. The VoiceFlow co-founder was chosen through startup incubator Next36, which gave him the chance to meet one of the richest men in the world, as well as gain some of the knowledge Warren keeps in his head. While Hood was talking to Buffett, the businessman asked the entrepreneur a few questions, which caught the attention of the audience. Quote, what's your advice? Because you're talking to people who are 21, 22 years old who have just graduated from school. What advice can you give them? It was at this point that Buffett related to those present, a part of his experience in the working world. Quote, I was terrified of public speaking when I was in high school and college, Buffett said. I couldn't do it. I mean, throwing up and all that, he confessed. Fortunately for him, in those years, he took a public speaking course taught by Professor Dale Carnegie, and from it, he realized that his life improved in a way that he had not previously imagined. Quote, in fact, I have the diploma in the office. And I don't have my college diploma, I don't have my graduate degree, but I do have my Dale Carnegie diploma there, because it changed my life, Buffett says in the video. And that's one of the best choices the investor could have made, because without that skill, he probably wouldn't be where he is now. That's precisely why he closes the question with a perfect answer. Invest in yourself. We have reached the end of this video. Although many people may believe that doing certain activities is not enough to increase our dividends, the truth is that these tips have proven to be of great value in the business world. You can't get something done if you don't know what you want, and likewise, you can't do a job if you don't know what you're looking for in it. This is a topic that needs to be updated, as that is one of the pillars when our finances grow. Now that you know, do you intend to follow Warren Buffett's advice? Or do you think this is only for younger people or those just entering the workforce? Leave your answers and comments on today's topic, along with your suggestions for new videos. We'll read them and listen to your requests. Thanks for sticking around to the end. Subscribe and leave a like. See you next time.